You knew you were going to be tried. You knew you were going to be tested. You spent time working on yourself because you believed deeply within yourself that whenever you get tested, because you were preparing yourself for the test, you were preparing yourself for the trial, you believed strongly within yourself that whenever you get tested, you will come out triumphant. You will be able to go through it like it's nothing. So on the day of the test, you were caught unaware. But yet, keep in mind, you've been preparing. It's not like you've not been studying your scripture. It's not like you've not been praying. It's not like you've not been meditating. It's not like you've not been out treating others as you would love to be treated. But on the day of your test, when it presented itself, it came in a way that even you yourself were not ready for. But you thought you were ready. You thought you had accumulated the knowledge that was necessary to overcome it. But here you are, facing a challenge that weakened your senses. A challenge that got you to be blind to all the logic you spent time accumulating. You amped yourself. You told yourself you're ready for whatever. If it comes, you're going to be able to handle it accordingly. But guess what? It came to you when you least expected. You know, the interesting thing is, somehow, some way, you were able to maneuver through it. But you did not maneuver through it through your own intelligence. Interestingly, the spirit in you that cries out even to your creator when you least expect it in your conscious mind got to plead on your behalf, and the wisdom that was needed for you to maneuver through the situation was bestowed upon you. You would like to call it your intuition, right? But we know that maneuvering through life, overcoming obstacles, the challenges, it is not by our might, neither is it by our intelligence. We are grateful for those intellectual minds that have been so illuminated, always looking for the things that they can make better. But we also know individually, as we are seeking to find our place in society, we also face individual challenges. Some of them are psychological, and then it ends up manifesting itself physically. And we are always looking for ways to be in the best position to overcome our challenges. We get to believe that if we are really financially stable, we'd be able to overcome the challenges that life throws at us to a certain degree. That is true. But we also know that there are those higher things, and the higher things that are now working in the mental field that we seek to stabilize, because we get to realize that we can attain the material accumulation. But even if the peace that we so need to be able to manage these things mentally isn't there, then all of that wouldn't be necessary. Somehow, some way, you were able to maneuver through your difficulty. And it wasn't based off of the knowledge you got from books. It wasn't based off of the fact that you knew step by step in the process that was necessary to overcome this challenge. But when it came to you, when it was your day to be tested, you froze. It seemed so overpowering. It made you feel useless and weak. But even after all of that, you were still able to maneuver through it, because we know that it is not by our might, it is not by the fact that we have the physical strength or the intellectual capacity, but we know it is by His grace. That is why the one who is trusting in the Most High doesn't spend time worrying so much about the obstacles and the challenges that are going to present themselves. You know that He is your strength. You know without a doubt that whatever presents itself, since He is greater than that, you will be able to overcome it. So you rest, just like Yeshua rested while He was with His disciples and the storm broke out, and He was still resting while the disciples were panicking. It's not that Yeshua studied a manual that said, this is what you do when a storm breaks out. It's okay to sleep. That's not what it was about. Being in alignment, understanding truth. We get to overcome the many obstacles that life throws at us. Sometimes we even improvise it, and then we look back and wonder how we were able to do that. And we are grateful. We're grateful for the fact that spirit communicates even through thought. My dear brothers and sisters, I don't want to go too deep with this particular video. I don't like my videos going too long. But we have to get to see how, as we are becoming more and more in tune with the fact that we are consciousness, and we completely surrender onto this inner knowing, it takes away from us some of the stresses that we burden ourselves with on a daily basis. We get to see that we do not have to be so stressed about certain things that we eventually overcome. Just like we don't see birds getting stressed out as to where their food is going to come from, we too get to realize that we cannot be so much stressed, because the higher hand is already working through us, giving us the provision that we need to be able to attain that which is necessary. The right attitude, the right mindset, the wisdom, the desire to keep going. These are all influences that, as we get to appreciate and we get to tap into it some more, we find out how much more easing life could really, really be. Let's go ahead and cap it at that. Thank y'all so much for tuning into my spiritual friend in need at The Chosen's Path. I am the common denominator, always dropping that real. Every time you come right here, just be ready for us to dialogue as we are ascending. Y'all be blessed.